Hello, this is going to be a really quick video on how to disassemble and reassemble a GAN 2x2. So the reason for this video is because GAN 2x2s are a little bit more different than other 2x2s in the market. They have a very specific way of fixing certain edges so the puzzle doesn't misalign. So let's get started by going ahead and taking apart the puzzle. So the first thing that we're going to go ahead and do is take our tool that came with your 251 or whatever puzzle you have, and we're going to go ahead and remove all of the GES that we can. So we'll start off with this yellow side. So generally the fixed corner is going to be this one. You can usually tell because it's the one without the adjustment features. So basically you adjust all the other corners to have an attraction towards this one rather than adjusting this one to have an attraction for everything else. So we'll go ahead and start disassembling this using our tool. So here you can kind of see the GES. There are 3 numbers on here, but the one you're looking for is basically the release position, which kind of looks like a do not enter sign. So what you need to do is set that do not enter sign onto the post. So you see how this one, there's the plastic is slightly longer horizontally like that. So we're going to go ahead and try to set that release position, the do not enter, onto the post there so it turns properly. So just go ahead and take our tool. We're going to press down. We're going to twist, and this should set in the release position, and we can take out that GES. So we'll just repeat this on all the sides. This actually should just come right off. But yeah, there we go. So we'll have a little bit better view. So what I mean by like that elongated post is this, you see how there's like little teeth on the side of that? Basically, we want those teeth to point at the do not enter sign on the GES. So we'll just go ahead and repeat that for each one of the sides. So here I've already taken apart that layer because this is already loose. And here you can see the centerpiece. It has a little kind of slot for those teeth, and we can just remove that as well. So I'll just go ahead and do that for each one of the sides, except one of them, which is going to be the red, white, and blue one, which is slightly special. Okay. So I just want to make sure they are currently on 0.6. So when we put everything back together, we're just going to have to set all of these back to 0.6. Okay, from here you can kind of finagle, take apart more of the corners, take apart more of the centerpieces, so that the puzzle falls apart. So here it kind of gets a little bit tricky. We don't want to force this corner out because there's a special way to remove this corner. But I will go ahead and take out the GES so we have a little bit more play. There we go. So now we have a lot of play on here. You see that it's really hard to twist this. It's because these centers actually have little posts that go into the edge pieces, which lock them in place, giving you a fixed corner on the GAN 2x2. Now this is different from all the other ones. Usually the edges are the one that connects to the centers, but GAN wanted to be special and do the opposite, the centers connecting to the edges. So to remove these though, we're gonna actually have to split the edge in half. So usually there's you can see the line right down the center, right here. And you can take your fingernail, flathead screwdriver, stick eraser, and just split this across like that. From here, we're just gonna pull that apart. And notice that the inside, the one that connects to this corner, does not have a magnet on here, but this one has a magnet in it. So we want to make sure that when we're reinstalling it, that we're putting the non-magnetized side of the edge into the fixed corner. The corner that just looks a little bit more different than the rest. So again, we're just gonna go ahead and just split this apart. So yeah, that should allow me to do that now. We want to be careful because these posts are really thin. You can see them. These will kind of lock into the edges, and they're really thin, and they'll break off really easily. Cool. So I'll put anything that deals with the fixed corner to one side. Everything else goes to the other side here. And from here, we can just take this off and take that off. So here we have the core. You can see that there's a little nub right here. So this is kind of where this piece will just sit into, like that. And that just prevents it from moving in and out of the puzzle. So it stays stable. Everything else has a magnet. So we're gonna start off with the reassembly process. Now we wanna make sure that this corner will go over here where there's no magnet. We're gonna start off by putting in one of our centerpieces with the little posts. And what we want to do is surround this guy with centerpieces. So we're just going to put it in for now, just anyway. So here we have these little slots again for the little teeth here. And we're just going to go ahead and slowly put them in and making sure that we're not forcing anything because that will break the cube. Like that. So I have 3 of these centers. They're all kind of pointing towards the one without the magnet inside the core. Okay. I'm going to take one of the corner halves, the one without a magnet. So here's one with a magnet. You can see that visibly. Here's one without a magnet. They have these little slots where these teeth will go into. So we're just going to go ahead and put that here. Oops. And we want to make sure that all of these posts are pointing together, like pointing towards each other. So we're going to take ours, we're going to put it from the inside, like this. It's a little looby, so pardon if I slip, like that. Now we're going to take one with a magnet, and we're going to seal that off. So here it's wrong because I have a post here, so I'm just going to move this, take that back out, make sure that I'm putting it in properly, and that all of those posts are pointing next to each other. We're going to take our side with a magnet, and we're just going to firmly press both those edge halves together, and that will lock these two in place. We're going to go ahead and repeat that with another one. So I'm going to make sure everything's pointed together like this. We're going to take one without a magnet, put it into place, take one with a magnet, put it up on top like this, and we're just going to seal it in. It's okay if it's loose because we're going to put the GES back in it a little bit. Before we put in the third one, we want to put it in our corner. So here's our corner. Usually I want to make sure that the corner is facing down like that. We're going to go ahead and slip the one without a magnet here, like that. So we're going to use that corner to kind of, push it all up together, like this. And we're going to go ahead and take our edge piece with the magnet, put it up on top, and we're just going to firmly press so everything's back together. And that's how you would affix that specific corner. I'm going to go ahead and put in a couple of these GES, kind of just lock everything in. So do that, like that. Again, the stock tensions were on 0.6. What we want is those little teeth to point to 0.6. So right here, it's 0.8. So I'm just going to take it again, like this, twist it to 0.6. Oh, that was the release position. So we want to make sure it's on 0.6, like that. Nope, it's back on 0.8. That should be 0.6. Like that. So that's on 0.6. I'm just going to make sure I do that for all of the ones that I put in. So again, needed to be different. So this is why the assembly is a little bit more different than like a general 2x2 assembly video. And again, we want to work with the corner, the fixed corner, without any of the adjustments. So you can see on this one has adjustments. So if you have a different GAN 2x2 like the 251 Air or something that don't have adjustable magnets, you can use any one, but I like using the one with the logo on it just because that's how GAN is. Okay, from here I'm gonna go ahead and put in one centerpiece. Actually, let's do this one and this one. So again, match up the teeth with the centerpieces. Put in a GES, set that GES to 0.6. This one, because it's still a little bit open, we might not need the tool, but the tool does help in rotating these guys around a little bit. That's 0.8. That's 0.6. I want to make sure that's locked in. And we don't want this to drop once we've installed it. So I'm going to go ahead and take a regular edge, and I'm going to put it underneath here and put it like that. So that'll hold it up in place. Okay, I'm going to install another center. Put that in, take another GES, put that in, set it to 0.6. Okay, and then again, we don't want that to drop anymore, so we're gonna put in a center piece, or an edge piece, and just position it into place like this. So we have like a cross of edges. Next, we're gonna put it in the corners. Basically, it doesn't matter the order that you put the corners in, as long as white or yellow is facing white or yellow. So in this case, white's facing down. So I'm gonna put this piece in with white down, put this piece in with yellow. I'll put that also down. This one has white, so I'm gonna put that facing down. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put in 3 more edges. Now these edges don't need to be split at all, so you can just put these in randomly. All right, so next up, we're actually gonna go ahead and put in our next center. I'm not gonna install the GES yet on this one because we want that little bit of play for when we're kind of putting everything together. What I will do though is turn it so that those teeth don't go through the hole again and make it fly out once we're installing these edges. So from an angle, just kind of slide this in. There shouldn't be a lot of force needed for this because there's no GES holding the tension. Okay, so that's fine. We're gonna take a corner piece. So these guys are opposite. Take a corner piece, take another corner piece. We're gonna take an edge and we're just gonna put it towards the middle here. Again, it's really loose, so it shouldn't require a lot of force. Go over here. Again, I'm just making sure that yellow or white is facing up or down. Another corner piece. And because it's really loose, this one should just slip between the gaps of where it's missing right here. Like that. Cool. Next, we can go ahead and install our last GES. I'm gonna actually use the tool for this one. So these guys will connect to that one, hold it in place while we put that in. So we can actually spread this apart so we can get access to where it needs to go. And then just kind of let it drop. So we're gonna push that in, make sure that it goes through the little teeth. So I felt that kind of just go down. And twist it a little bit and get that to release. So that one is not mounted properly yet, so I'm gonna go back in there. Try to get that mounted properly back onto the puzzle. So, here we go. Okay, so that one locked in place. That's still an 0.8, so I wanna go ahead and turn it so it's on 0.6 again. There we go. So that should be on 0.6. Let's go ahead and do a couple of turns, make sure that everything is put back in properly. And that's how you would reassemble a 251 or almost any other GAN 2x2, because GAN needed to be a little bit different with their assembly. Hope that helps.